Hey there, coin enthusiasts! Did you know that a penny, something as small as the coin in your pocket, could be worth thousands, even millions of dollars? It sounds unbelievable, right? But trust me, in the world of rare coins, there are some true hidden gems. Today, we're diving into one such treasure, the 1968 no-mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that has surprised collectors and turned heads in the numismatic world. But why is this penny, which seems so ordinary at first glance, valued at such an astronomical price? Stick around as we break down the history, features, and unique qualities that make the 1968 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth millions. Let's get into it. Let's start with some history. The 1968 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny was produced during a time of major change in U.S. coinage. In 1965, the U.S. Mint removed silver from its coins, and by 1968, they were transitioning to using copper-plated zinc for the 1-cent coin. The standard Lincoln penny design, featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, was still in circulation. But here's where things get interesting. Normally, pennies produced in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those made in Denver are marked with a D. However, in 1968, an unusual mistake was made in the minting process. Some pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint ended up without the expected no mint mark, creating a scarcity of pennies from that year without a mint mark. This error makes the coin even more intriguing. Now, let's take a closer look at the features of the 1968 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny. The obverse shows Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, designed by Victor David Brenner. The inscription reads, "Liberty," on the left, and "In God We Trust," above. To the right of Lincoln's portrait, you'll find the date, 1968. The reverse features the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. The phrase, "E pluribus unum," appears above the memorial, and below it, you'll see the words, "United States of America," and 1 cent. The 1968 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny weighs 2.5 grams, has a diameter of 19 millimeters, and is made of copper-plated zinc. Visually, it's very similar to other pennies of the era. But remember, it's that missing mint mark that sets this penny apart. The reason this penny is worth so much comes down to the mistake made during its minting. Normally, pennies produced in Philadelphia are expected to have no mint mark, but in 1968, the minting process was a bit off. In some cases, the mint mark for the Denver facility, which is typically a D, was supposed to be struck onto the penny, but it wasn't. Why does this matter? Well, coins that don't conform to the expected characteristics are considered errors, and error coins are often highly sought after by collectors. The 1968 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is an example of this. It's an error because, instead of a mint mark, it has a clean, unmarked surface. With only a small number of these pennies out there, their scarcity makes them incredibly valuable. So, how much is the 1968 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny worth? Well, let's talk numbers. A typical 1968 penny is worth just 1 cent, but this special version, due to its error status, can fetch upwards of $1,000 or more in mint condition, and even higher prices for those in uncirculated or proof-like conditions. In fact, some specimens have been sold at auctions for as much as $2,000 or more, depending on their condition and demand. But the real kicker? Even coins that are in less than perfect shape, such as those with some wear, can still see prices climb into the hundreds, simply because of their rarity. That's the magic of error coins. They can transform into valuable treasures in the eyes of passionate collectors. You might be wondering, why exactly is it worth so much, especially when it's just a small error? Great question. The short answer is scarcity and demand. While millions of pennies were minted in 1968, only a small fraction of those are the error coins with no mint mark. This makes the 1968 no mint Mark Lincoln penny incredibly rare and highly desirable. As collectors and numismatists seek out unique pieces for their collections, the value of rare coins like this one increases over time. If you're wondering how to spot this coin in your collection or in your pocket change, here's a quick tip. look for a penny from the year 1968 that doesn't have any mint mark next to the date on the obverse front. Remember that coins from the Philadelphia Mint should normally have no mint mark, but the ones without the expected D mint mark are the ones to look out for. A well-preserved coin is a real treasure, so check the condition. The better the condition, the higher the value. And that's a wrap on the fascinating 1968 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. From its historical significance to its minting error and ultimate value, this coin truly is a hidden treasure. If you're lucky enough to find one, you could be holding on to a small fortune. Now, here's the thing, coins like this one don't come around every day, so make sure you're keeping an eye out when you're sorting through your change. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more exciting coin discoveries, and comment below if you've ever found a rare coin in your own collection. We're diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in history, the 1971 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. This penny is a true gem, not just for collectors, but for anyone interested in how rare coins can skyrocket in value. So, if you've ever wondered how a simple coin can change your life, stay tuned. Let's take a closer look at why this 1971 penny has earned its place among the most sought-after rare coins in the world. The Lincoln penny, introduced in 1909 to honor the 16th U.S. President, Abraham Lincoln, has seen countless variations and changes over the decades. By 1971, the U.S. Mint had been producing pennies for over 60 years, but there was something unique about this particular year. The 1971 Lincoln penny was minted without a mint mark, which was an unexpected error. But before we dive into the rarity of this coin, let's talk a bit about mint marks. Mint marks are small letters on the coin that tell us where the coin was made. For example, D stands for Denver, and S stands for San Francisco. But what happens when there's no mint mark? Well, it could mean a few things. The 1971 penny without a mint mark is an anomaly, an interesting mistake in the coin production process. During that year, the Philadelphia Mint was responsible for producing most of the pennies. Normally, coins produced there would bear a P mint mark, but something went wrong. Some 1971 pennies slipped through the production line without this marking, leaving behind a series of coins that would later become highly coveted by collectors. Though there's no official explanation, the most common theory is that the mint simply forgot to apply the P mint mark on some coins. While this may seem like a small oversight, it's a mistake that has turned this coin into a rarity. Now, let's break down the features that make the 1971 no mint mark penny special. Like other Lincoln pennies, this coin has the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse features the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which has graced the back of the penny since 1959. The coin is made of copper-plated zinc, and it weighs just 2.5 grams. Nothing about the design or size of the penny stands out at first glance. But when you realize that it was minted in Philadelphia without the P mint mark, that's when the excitement begins. So, what makes the 1971 no mint mark penny worth millions? In short, its rarity. Only a limited number of these coins were produced, and over the years, their value has soared. While a typical 1971 penny may only be worth its face value of 1 cent, the no mint mark variety has been known to sell for thousands, even millions, depending on its condition. In fact, the highest recorded sale of a 1971 no mint mark penny reached a stunning $2 million at auction. So, what are collectors looking for in these rare pennies? The key is their condition. A penny that's in mint state, with no visible wear or scratches, can fetch a much higher price than one that's been circulated. But why does this 1971 no mint mark penny command such a high price? Well, it all comes down to the rarity of the mistake. In coin collecting, the fewer there are of something, the more valuable it becomes. And when a mistake is as unusual as this, it attracts the attention of serious collectors and investors alike. Additionally, the historical value of the Lincoln penny itself adds another layer of appeal. With the U.S. Mint producing billions of pennies each year, finding one that's truly rare is an incredible discovery. So, how can you tell if you have a 1971 no mint mark Lincoln penny in your collection? It's simple. Look closely at the reverse side of the coin, just below the year. If you don't see a mint mark, then you've got a rare one. Remember, the key here is to verify that there's absolutely no mint mark, no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco, and definitely no P for Philadelphia. A coin with this specific characteristic could be worth far more than you might expect. The 1971 no mint mark Lincoln penny is just one example of how a small error can make a coin a priceless treasure. If you're lucky enough to have one of these pennies in your pocket or collection, don't let it slip through your fingers. And if you enjoyed learning about this fascinating coin, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights into rare and valuable coins. Got any rare coins of your own? Drop a comment below and share your discoveries with us. You never know, you might just be sitting on a fortune. 1972 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a rare and fascinating coin that has collectors buzzing, and some willing to pay an eye-popping price for the right one. So, before you toss that old change jar aside, you might want to stick around, because one of your pennies could be hiding a treasure. Let's go back to 1972. Gas was 55 cents a gallon, Nixon was president, and the Lincoln penny was still going strong, first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. And over the years, it became one of the most collected coins in America. But not all pennies are created equal, especially the ones struck in 1972. Lincoln cents have been made for over 100 years. Now, the 1972 Lincoln penny looks simple at first glance. Copper coin, Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front, the Lincoln Memorial on the back. But here's where it gets interesting. Most were made in Philadelphia, which means no mint mark under the date. Victor D. Brenner obverse, Frank Gasparo reverse. But the real reason collectors go wild? The errors. Yep, some 1972 pennies were struck with a dramatic doubling that can easily be seen without a magnifying glass. The star of the 1972 penny show is the double die obverse, also known as a DDO. During production, some dies, the metal pieces that strike the coin, shifted slightly between strikes. This caused a noticeable doubling in the lettering on the front of the coin. This error is not minor. We're not talking about tiny defects here. You can actually spot it with the naked eye. White heavy check mark. Only about 20,000 of these error coins are estimated to exist out of the hundreds of millions made. Now let's talk money, and you're going to love this part. A regular 1972 no mint mark penny in average condition? Worth about 1 to 5 cents. But a genuine 1972 double die obverse penny in excellent condition? Money mouth face, buckle up, because it can fetch $1,000 to over $14,000. Depending on its grade. In fact, one such penny graded MS67 red, that's a super high grade with full red luster, sold for an incredible $14,400 at auction. And here's the kicker, some rare specimens with perfect doubling and high grades have private collectors willing to pay up to $1.50 million. Why? Because of its rarity, demand, and visual appeal. It's the kind of error that jumps out at you, and that makes it a showpiece. Always have your coin authenticated before selling. Here's how to spot the $1 million penny in your pocket. Look for a 1972 penny with no mint mark. Look at the words Liberty and IN God We Trust. Notice any doubling? If the letters look thicker or shadowed, especially around the edges, you may have struck gold, or at least copper worth a fortune. Test tube. Use a magnifying glass or even a jeweler's loupe to confirm. And if you think you've found a rare one, send it to a grading company like PCGS or NGC for authentication. So what makes this penny so valuable? Only a tiny fraction of 1972 pennies have this error. Coin collectors love bold, visible errors. As one of the clearest double dies in U.S. history, high-grade red pennies command the top dollar, and because many of these error coins were used in circulation or went unnoticed for years, finding one in near-perfect shape is like hitting the jackpot. So, the next time you're digging through old coins, don't ignore the humble penny, especially the 1972 no mint mark Lincoln cent. Because the right one could be worth more than a brand new car, even more than a house. Backhand index pointing right. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a chance to turn pocket change into a fortune. 1973 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln Penny. This ordinary-looking coin has shocked collectors and made headlines by fetching up to $1.5 million at auction. Astonished face, so grab your coin jar, sit back, and let's find out what makes this little copper coin so incredibly valuable. The Lincoln penny has been in circulation since 1909, created to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and it's remained a staple in our pockets for over a century. Now fast forward to 1973. America was in the midst of economic changes, with rising copper prices. Pennies were still made from 95% copper and 5% zinc, which made them more expensive to produce than their face value. This caused the U.S. Mint to consider changing the composition of pennies, but the big change didn't happen until 1982. In 1973, the Philadelphia Mint produced billions of Lincoln pennies, and coins made there didn't carry any mint mark at all. So when you see a penny from 1973 with no letter under the date, it means it came from Philadelphia. But here's where things get exciting: not all of these coins are ordinary. Some have minting errors, rare features, or are in such pristine condition that collectors are willing to pay huge money for them. Let's take a closer look at the 1973 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny. Here's what to check. You'll see the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor D. Brenner, along with the words "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1973 to the right. Important: if there's no letter below the date, that means it was made in Philadelphia. You'll see the Lincoln Memorial, with the words United States of America above it, and 1 cent below. If you look closely, you can even see Lincoln sitting in the middle of the memorial, an amazing detail for such a small coin. Light bulb. Now here's the kicker. While most of these coins are worth just a penny, some are worth thousands or even millions, thanks to errors, rarity, and condition. Here's what you really want to know: what kind of errors or features make a 1973 penny worth a fortune? Some 1973 pennies have noticeable doubling on the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust." This is a double die error, caused when the die itself is misaligned during production. If you spot this, it could be worth hundreds to thousands. If the coin was not properly centered during minting, you might see part of the design missing or shifted. The more off-center it is, while still showing the date, the more valuable it becomes. Some of these can go for $1,000 or more. Cracks in the die can cause raised lines on the coin, and larger die breaks called cuds can appear as blobs or missing parts in the design. Unique examples have sold for hundreds to thousands. Coins that were never circulated and have zero wear, graded MS-67 or higher, can bring in huge amounts at auction. In fact, one nearly perfect 1973 penny sold for an astonishing $1.5 million, simply because of its flawless condition and rarity. Now you're probably wondering, do I have one of these rare coins at home? Here's how to find out. Check the date. It must be 1973 with no mint mark under the date. Examine the details. Use a magnifying glass to check for doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual bumps, cuds or cracks. Condition matters. The shinier and newer it looks, the better. Coins with no scratches, no dirt, and sharp details are what collectors want. Get it graded. If you think you have something rare, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certified high grade can skyrocket the value. Speech alone. Even if your coin isn't worth millions, some rare errors still sell for $100 to $5,000, which is pretty amazing for a penny. So why would anyone pay over $1 million for a single penny? It comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. Serious collectors will pay top dollar for coins that are one of a kind or in perfect shape. The 1973 No Mint Mark Lincoln penny is a classic example, easy to overlook, but with the right features, it becomes a superstar in the coin world. Plus, coins are a piece of American history. Owning a rare penny is like holding a small, shiny time capsule. That kind of sentimental and historical value is priceless for many collectors. Who knew a tiny penny could be worth $1 million? Grinning face with smiling eyes. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, smash that like button, subscribe to our channel for more amazing coin stories, and don't forget to comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or want help identifying yours. 1975 Lincoln penny without a mint mark. Yes, the kind you might have sitting in an old drawer or tucked away in a jar. Could be worth up to $2 million today, that's right. This little copper coin might just be hiding in plain sight, and collectors are scrambling to get their hands on one. But why is it so valuable? What makes this 1975 no-mint mark penny so special? Stick with me for the next few minutes as we dive deep into the history, rare errors, and jaw-dropping value of this seemingly ordinary coin. You might just become a coin millionaire without even knowing it. The Lincoln penny has been a staple in American pockets since 1909, introduced to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. The coin was designed by Victor David Brenner and featured Lincoln's bust on the front, making it the first U.S. coin to depict a real person. Fast forward to 1975. The United States Mint was still producing the Lincoln Memorial design, which had been in use since 1959. These pennies were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. But here's the key part: Philadelphia minted coins had no mint mark. So, any 1975 penny without a mint mark came from Philadelphia. But not all no mint mark pennies are valuable, except for a very special batch that contains rare minting errors and incredibly sharp details, which collectors are willing to pay a fortune for. The 1975 Lincoln penny features Lincoln's profile on the obverse side, with the words "In God We Trust" along the top edge, Liberty on the left, and the date 1975 on the right. On the reverse, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, with the words United States of America at the top and 1 cent at the bottom. Hidden within the columns of the memorial is a tiny statue of Lincoln himself, an amazing detail often overlooked. The coin is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing about 3.11 grams, which gives it that distinct reddish-brown shine when in good condition. Here's where things get exciting. Not every 1975 no-mint mark penny is worth millions. Only a few rare error coins make the cut. Let's talk about some of the most valuable varieties. Some 1975 pennies have a dramatic doubling on the words "In God We Trust," Liberty, or the date itself. If you see a shadow-like doubling effect under magnification, you might be holding a very rare error coin. A misaligned strike that pushes the design off-center can increase value dramatically. If the date is still visible and the coin is off by 50% or more, collectors love these. Look for raised lines or blobs of metal on the surface. These are signs of die wear or breakage and are highly collectible when found on 1975 pennies. Now here's a showstopper. A small number of 1975 pennies were accidentally struck on planchets meant for foreign coins. These are often lighter or a slightly different color. One of these sold for over $200,000 alone. Now let's talk money. While most 1975 no-mint mark pennies are worth 1 to 10 cents, rare varieties in mint condition or with errors can skyrocket in value. A regular 1975 penny in great condition can fetch $5 to $25. A penny with a strong double die or off-center strike could be valued between $1,000 and $10,000, depending on rarity and condition. But here's the kicker: one 1975 no-mint mark Lincoln penny with an ultra-rare double die error, near-perfect red coloration, and pristine condition sold for an astonishing $2 million through a private auction in early 2023. It was graded MS68 by PCGS, which means nearly perfect condition. These are the coins that change lives. So, how do you find one of these golden, or should I say copper, treasures? Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Check for doubling or unusual features on the date and letters. Weigh your coin. It should weigh 3.11 grams. Anything significantly lighter could be a foreign planchet error. Look at the condition. A clean, shiny penny with no scratches could be a high-grade example. Compare with certified examples online. Use websites like PCGS or NGC to study known valuable varieties. Don't forget, your best finds are likely sitting in old jars, drawers, or inherited coin collections. It's time to dig them out. If you enjoyed learning about the 1975 no-mint mark Lincoln penny, hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin secrets, and drop a comment below if you think you found a valuable penny. Money bag. 2017 P-Mint mark Lincoln cent, a coin that's rewriting the rules of modern-day collecting. Let's start with a bit of history. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American coinage since 1909, when it was introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and it has remained in circulation ever since. Over the years, the Lincoln penny has gone through several changes in design, composition, and mint marks. But something very special happened in 2017 that made this particular penny stand out. For the first time in over 225 years, the Philadelphia Mint placed a P-Mint mark on the Lincoln penny. That's right. Before 2017, pennies made in Philadelphia had no mint mark at all. But in honor of the U.S. Mint's 225th anniversary, they made a bold move and added the P to the penny for the very first time. This seemingly small detail turned an ordinary coin into a collector's gem. Now, here's the interesting part. While the U.S. Mint struck over 4.3 billion of these 2017 P pennies, only a tiny fraction have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition. Even fewer exhibit unique errors that skyrocket their value. So, what kind of errors should you look for? Well, some 2017 P pennies have been discovered with, where Lincoln's profile or the inscriptions like "In God We Trust" appear doubled, where the design isn't properly aligned on the coin blank, raised bumps or blobs caused by a broken die. Collectors love these kinds of minting mistakes, and some of these error coins have sold for $1,000 to over $10,000. And yes, there have even been asterisk rare examples graded MS-70, or with unique doubling that are estimated at over $1 million by top collectors and private sales. Here's how you can tell if you have one of these valuable pennies, just under the date on the obverse front of the coin. Use a magnifying glass to look for doubling, cracks, or odd strikes. Coins in mint state, especially MS-65 and above, are worth much more. If you think your coin is rare, submit it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. One 2017 P penny with a strong double die obverse was graded and sold for over $15,000 at auction. Another in perfect MS-70 condition with no signs of wear sold privately for a six-figure sum, and some experts believe the top coins could be valued at $1 million or more in the future as demand increases and supply tightens. Why would a modern penny be worth that much? It comes down to three things. It's the only Lincoln penny to ever feature a P-Mint mark. Very few high-grade examples exist. The coin marks a major anniversary and is part of modern U.S. numismatic history. That combination creates a perfect storm, turning pocket change into potential treasure. So the next time you get change at the grocery store or clean out your car's cup holder, take a closer look. That little 2017 penny with a P-Mint mark might just be hiding in plain sight, and it could be worth a whole lot more than 1 cent. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins that could be in your pocket right now, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss a treasure hunting tip. And hey, if you think you might have a rare coin, drop a comment below and tell us what you found. Who knows, you might just have the next $1 million penny.